Hello, I'm going to make a brief outline video in how to change the hydraulic convertible top cylinder. My car is a 2004, it's a 996 version, but this should be similar from 1999 up until present. And you know the cylinder's leaking because it usually drips in front of the back right tire on the side that's leaking. So the first step is you turn on your ignition, you pull your parking brake up, and you use the convertible down button just till the latch releases and the back hatch goes back. The next step is, these are two cables that go on two little ball areas. All you do is you push down on the back of it and you pop the cables off the balls. They come off very easily. And then you fold the back of the roof back out of your way. The next step is there's a cardboard cover that's sitting there, and it has nylon clips, 4 of them, that you pry out with a screwdriver. And then you pull this out of the way, and this is the back part of it's held under by the rubber gasket, and it just pulls out. The next step is to have the electric motor that puts the hatch back and get it out of your way. So there are two 10mm nuts that you unscrew from here. You also unplug this from the control panel here, and there's a top plug here too that you unplug, and you rotate this plug and it comes out and you get out of your way. I'm using a yellow bungee cord to hold it back. The next step is you go to where the cylinder is. I've removed this to make this a quick video. I'll show you right here. And there are two 13mm nuts that attach here. The best way, in my opinion, to remove it is to have a ratcheting wrench, because the one furthest in is difficult to get at. You also free up the hoses from its retaining clamps, and then when you do that, you remove the arm that goes from the top of this to the top with these two clips. The way to remove the clips is very simple. You take a screwdriver, you put it under the end, you pry it up so it's level with the tab, and you push it off. And it comes off very easily, and this arm comes off as well. So the next step, then I put the cylinder out of the way. The next step is to go to the hydraulic motor. This motor was sitting in like this. It went through this bracket, two 10mm bolts off, one rubber retaining clip that held it up. What I did is I freed up some of the slack by tapping the cylinder out, so I pulled it out this way. If you were doing it on the passenger side, you would work it out the other way and unplug this motor from here. At the next stage, which I haven't yet to do, is you undo these two 12mm bolts that hold the hydraulic cables. You're paying attention to the color codedness, and if the tape is off, like my tape is missing here, pay attention to which one is going to the front and back side of the cylinder. And so you undo these two bolts that also allow the hydraulic fluid to pass through them, and they have little mini copper washers. So when you're undoing it, have some paper towels under it, as I have here, and you pay attention to the copper washers and where they were placed, and be careful not to lose them. The next step is to take your replacement cylinder. This cylinder has been rebuilt, the two seals have been done. This is something I do myself, and I'll talk about in a moment. And I take the two ends and I put it into the Porsche hydraulic fluid. This fluid is very expensive, so if you prefer, you can also use this fluid that I bought on eBay. It's a made in Germany synthetic fluid, but it works just as well. And I work the cylinder back and forth a couple times trying to displace the air. I then take the cylinder back to the hydraulic motor, and I connect the ends as it's pictured here, and simply I put the hydraulic cylinder back in, make sure that the lines are free and in their tabs, and I put the nuts back on, and at that point, I basically add, while it's free, I add more fluid to the reservoir here while it's out, and then I put it back in. And I do not put the cardboard liner back in yet. what you want to do is try to work it back and forth a couple times, and some of the fluid's going to be put back into the cylinder. So what I do, this is the filler hole. Since it'll be now more difficult to get at, you can either do two things. Use a syringe like this if you have one, or simply use a straw with a curved end that will go like this, and you would pour the fluid from this container through the hose, and it doesn't take that much fluid, and you're basically filling the up to the mid line, and then you run it a couple more times and see if you need to add more fluid. At that point, when it's working fine, I put the cardboard liner back into it and reattach the cables down, and you should be done. The hydraulic cylinders is something I've been repairing myself for the last 6 years. I sell them on eBay, and I'll show you the information. I made a little sign. You could email me directly yourself if you wish for me to do it for you. You can look on eBay. If you go directly through me, I give a little bit of a discount, as I charge $150 on eBay. But I'll do one cylinder for $235 or two cylinders for $430. So feel free to email me if you have any questions about it, and I hope this helps you. Thank you.